Hello, my name is Mamoru Takahashi. I'm also known as Bobby in this community. Cheers. Here's a cup of tea. Okay, today's topic is L2 reader's attitude and extensive reading. Let's get started. I'm going to start with a funny Japanese sentence that sounds like German. Do you know any? Schrengen kissed Herr Kleinen. That's it. Okay. Researchers have supported the effectiveness of ER. So many researchers, more than these people. They have shown the significant changes in L2 proficiency after giving ER programs. They reported improvement of proficiency test scores. However, there remains a question whether the higher level of L2 proficiency was the cause of being able to read more books, or reading a large number of books was the cause of the improvement in L2 proficiency. Okay? In other words, we can't tell whether the original L2 proficiency levels enables students to improve their test scores, or reading a large number of books in ER programs enabled them to get higher test scores until we analyze the number of words students read in ER programs and the gains of scores in L2 proficiency tests. In short, I'm going to show you the gains of scores after the ER programs. I analyzed the result of 6 years ER program in my classroom. This paper will show you the number of words my students read and the TOEIC Bridge Test scores. TOEIC Bridge Test is the entry version of the regular TOEIC test. You will see the surprising test results soon. I analyzed the scores of 2 separate TOEIC Bridge tests given at the beginning and at the end of each school year, and the number of words recorded in mReader. A one-way ANOVA was used to analyze the effect of total word counts on the TOEIC Bridge test scores. The statistic software SPSS 26.0 was used as the analytic tool for data. This study included students who attended my freshman core class between 2014 and 2019. The total population for this study were 274 first-year students, mostly male, at a 4-year science and technology university in Japan. All the students were 18 and 19 years old, and their native language was Japanese. TOEIC Bridge tests were given at the beginning and at the end of the first academic year. Although ETS started a new TOEIC Bridge test in 2019, we could still use the old test in 2019 because the test was administered as an institutional program IP test. The type of scores between 2014 and 2019 range from 20 to 180. In this paper, result of the scores were divided into 3 groups. Over 155 are higher group, that is equivalent of B1 in CEFA. Between 130 and 150 are middle level group, that is A2 in CEFA, and under 130 are lower level group, that is A1 in CEFA. We used mReader to record the word counts. The number of words each student read were downloaded and recorded in each semester. Considering the possibility of cheating regarding the mReader word counts, as the number of words is still a little risky. However, mReader is more rigorous than self-reporting word counts. As I mentioned before, the present study employed a method of dividing samples into low A1, middle, A2, and high language proficiency. Table 1 shows the scores of the two tests and the number of words divided by proficiency levels. Okay. And next slide is the result of one-way ANOVA. The result of a one-way ANOVA revealed significant differences among the three groups. The evidence is P is smaller than 0.05. Table 2. Next, Table 2 shows the results of the ANOVA. The results statistically prove that high language level B1 group read more books than the middle language group, and the middle language level group read more books than low language level group. This is the important part, p-value. They are distinctively three different groups. That's the most important part. The following are the line graphs that compares the average values of three groups in three scales: the first bridge test scores, the last bridge test scores, and the total number of words read in a year. They are grouped by the last bridge test scores. 1 is the high level group, 2 is the middle level group, and 3 is the low level group. This is January, average scores of January. And this is the average number of words they read. The present study employed another method of dividing samples into three groups, into high, over 400,000 words per year, middle between 200,000 and 400,000 word per year, and low under 200,000 words per year. Table 3 displays the average scores of two bridge tests and the average amounts of words. And next, table 4 shows the result of one-way ANOVA. The results revealed significant differences among the three groups. The results display that high group read more books than the middle group, and the middle group read more books than the low group. Again, this is important, p-values. They were separate groups. The following are the line graphs that compares the average values of three groups in three scales: the first bridge test scores, total number of words read in a year, and the last bridge test scores. In average bridge test scores, the high group was lower than the middle group in the initial test, but the high group went ahead of the middle group in the last test. This is the most important point. Look at this. They were lower than the middle group at the beginning in April, but they became higher than the middle group. Lower group remained lower. And this shows the amount of words they read. When I divided the students into groups by the scores of bridge test, the significant relationship between the word count and the bridge test scores was confirmed, right? However, that relationship does not guarantee that reading caused the higher L2 proficiency. However, when I examined the group by dividing them into groups of high, middle, and low, the high group's scores were significantly higher than the middle group's scores. The high group reversed the initial proficiency level by reading large number of words. This finding is consistent, in part, with Nishizawa, 2010. In their study, high group who read a lot of books became high proficiency group. Conclusion. Prior studies documented the effectiveness of ER in improving L2 proficiency, but the actual study comparing the number of words read and the improvement of proficiency test is still scarce. According to Lydon, 2019, they found a statistically significant gains in TOEIC reading scores. But the study did not report the statistical comparison among the number of words read and the proficiency test scores. The present paper confirmed the effectiveness of ER by comparing the TOEIC bridge test scores and the number of words read by the students in an academic year. This study proved that the students who read more English reversed the initial low scores of the bridge test and took higher scores in the last bridge test. This finding confirms Krashen's input hypothesis that advocates the language is subconsciously acquired through the incidental learning, such as extensive reading. This study, therefore, indicates that the more students have good attitude in reading extensively, the more they improve their scores in proficiency tests. This is the reference. Thank you. And I'm planning to publish this paper in our university bulletin. Thank you so much. Auf Wiedersehen.